Hey everybody, Zeal Brothers here once again. Want to make another video. This one about a situation that's happening in Haiti right now. There were some missionaries to Haiti. They brought some of their family and some kids, and they got kidnapped by a Haitian gang. And this gang is notorious for kidnapping people. And what they'll do is they'll kidnap people and hold them for ransom. Now, the FBI is on the ground trying to work with the people. And I believe that the organization that they work for, the Christian organization that's based in Ohio, is trying to negotiate some kind of payment. And that's why the FBI is not directly involved, because the FBI oftentimes will not be involved in paying terrorists. But what we have is a situation where Christians are going out there doing missionary work, trying to rebuild homes that fell in August. And here we have gangs taking advantage of that situation and kidnapping them. And I want to post this video to say this, and this is just be a counter to all the prosperity gospel guys out there, that bad things happen to good people who do things for good reasons. This is an undeniable fact. If you do good things, that does not necessarily mean that good things will happen to you in response. And that's just how it is. You cannot count on your reward on this planet. You cannot count on being appreciated for your good works in this world. And if that sounds depressing to you, you got too much of a man focus in you. And what do I mean by man focus? A lot of times people will come to me in church and they'll say, hey man, nobody really thanks me for what I did. And then I don't do this, but I want to turn to them and say, hey, when's the last time you thanked me for what I do for you? Hey man, when's the last time you encouraged me for a job well done? And I want to ask them, because oftentimes the people who are asking me this, I do way more than they do. And I turn around and I want to ask them, when's the last time you encouraged me? Here's the thing about faithfulness. Faithfulness is the ability to be counted on, and oftentimes without thanks. That's what faithfulness is. Faithfulness is like a chair. You count on that chair to hold you up, but you don't necessarily thank it when it does its job. You may be frustrated if it doesn't seem like it's doing its job, if it's not comfortable while it does its job. You might even compare it to another chair, but you are not truly thankful that a chair holds you up. You just count on it to do it. Oftentimes when you are faithful, you are saying to yourself, and you are saying to others, you don't have to thank me. And here's the thing. When you are the kind of person that's begging for thanks and people give it, what they're really saying without saying it is, I doubt your faithfulness. I doubt that you could be faithful unless I gave you some words. Those people who are truly faithful are those who keep on going, whether they get those words of affirmation or not. Now, back to this situation, it talks about the point that if you really want to do something in ministry, you might have to pay a cost. And that's just something that we're going to have to accept. Now, some people might say, well, it's foolish of them to go in this area. No. They knew what risk they were taking, and they accepted that risk. Now, I don't like the fact that they brought their kids, but the truth of the matter is I don't really know the whole situation. A lot of us Christians, if the world keeps turning the way it is, our kids are also going to pay a cost for the stances that we take. That's just simply the way it is. I think about Peter. When he was crucified, his wife was also crucified. And she did not have a platform that he had. But she still had to pay the cost. And she gladly paid the cost for his stance, because she stood with her husband. But the truth of the matter is that when you take a stance, there will be a cost. And you oftentimes don't get to determine what that cost is. Now, I would advise you to consider what that cost might be. But if you have considered that cost, Jesus always said this. He said, count the cost before you do that. He told people who, looking at a war approaching, will not count their own forces and the forces of the enemy. And then if the enemy outnumbers them 2-1, they don't try to come to terms. That's just wise. And he did that in reaction to people talking about what they would do in regards to religion. And a lot of times people don't want to look at religion realistically. There will be a cost that you must pay. There's nothing that's free in this world. Nothing is free. And since nothing is free, you're going to have to pay a cost. And you just got to ask yourself, are you willing to pay it?